All right, YouTube. So today's video is one that we're talking about the deficiencies in mirrorless and DSLR cameras that only global shutter can solve. So why are we having this discussion? Because you keep hearing, I don't need global shutter. Well, let's talk about it in this video. So if you're new, please like and subscribe down below. I am Amar, part of Amar Tech Talk. We actually own 247 Media Group, and it is a company that has many different arms to it. So this YouTube channel being one of them. Getting into this video, how do we position this, right, without offending anyone or them feeling, one way or another? So ever since, I guess, mirrorless cameras became a viable contender, right? The first initial goes were pretty bad, right? You all know that. But then, they got good, they got better, and then they surpassed DSLRs. In certain situations, right? Types of shooting and the things that they could do because of the advancements in technology. What you could do. So with all of that, we never could solve for real life photography problems. It was just a mechanism to take a mirror out of a camera and make a camera with no mirror in it and call it a new shiny toy. And obviously, yeah, you had greater lens registration, which means, you could get the back of a lens, which I'm not doing too well, trying to get it off. This back of this lens as close to this sensor here as possible, right? So those were some big achievements, right? So you could make lenses that didn't have to be as big and things like that. But a lot of the new lenses that are coming out, they're just as heavy as their DSLR counterparts. So what did we really achieve? I don't know. That's not what this video is about. So why a global shutter, right? So global shutter solves a lot of this headache. If you use flash photography or do flash photography, you do event photography, you do anything like that, weddings, events, those kind of things. Listen very closely to what I'm talking about. There's only one camera in the world today that I know of that actually can solve this problem for you. Meaning you have, it's blackout free. It's what your eye sees. It is what it is. Now, the biggest problem with flash is most cameras have, a flash sync speed. Like this is the Sony A9 II. And in this one, the flash sync speed is like, I think 1/250th of a second. So anything faster than that, I have to put my flash into something called a high-speed sync mode. So high-speed syncs are very short bursts that the flash has to do very quickly because the speed of the shutter closing, right? So you have first curtain, which comes down, and then you have a second curtain that comes behind it, and that's the entire shutter mechanism. So if this is the sensor, this is first curtain, and then a second curtain comes behind it. Now, all of this is happening very fast, right? I'm just trying to be graphic so you can get an idea. Well, with global shutter, you have the sensor, no curtain coming. It is the sensor. And it reads the sensor from behind or wherever it reads from the pixels. But there's no curtain business going on. There's no shutter in a global shutter sensor, right? So what does that mean? Your flash, like how you can go up to 1/250th of a second on a camera like this, now can go all the way up to 1/80,000th of a second without going to high-speed sync. When the flash goes to high-speed sync, regardless of the speed, it gets hotter faster. Recycle times for the flash take longer. It needs more power, right? Because it's giving those short bursts so quickly to get them in before that shutter closes. So that's what high-speed sync is. So then when you get your flash photo, you don't see half of the frame being black. Why? Because a sensor that is focal plane, just like this, if I open this up, it starts to read from here, goes across, comes down to the bottom right. It reads across all the way down. Global shutter, it reads the whole thing, the entire sensor, one time, and it's done. Right? So that's kind of what's happening. So enough of the technology. Now let's come back to, you solved the biggest headache. That this is something that even DSLRs could not solve. With the mirror, without the mirror, it doesn't matter, because of the focal plane shutter. Now you gotta do flash high-speed sync to get rid of that. That is truly, I hate to use the word, but game changer and liberating for an event wedding photographer, that type of thing. Even sports photographers that use speed lights to, photograph certain types of sports. There is no match for that. And there's only one camera that does that. That's the Sony A9 III. You're probably like buzzing right now. Why the hell is he talking about a Sony camera? Because I've been talking about this camera off and on for about almost 2 years, ever since it's been out. It used to be $6,500. Now it's gone to like $6,800 or something. And now it's on sale for $6,500. Not cheap. You won't get that camera cheap. Number one, because not as many people buy it. A lot of people will go with the mindset, oh, it's just a niche camera. It's not a niche camera. It solves problems that you can't imagine. If you're doing bird and wildlife, you shoot airplanes, you shoot helicopters, anything like that. No matter how fast your stack sensor with a focal plane shutter gets, you are always going to get jelloing effect. And the fastest stack sensor with a focal plane shutter is the Canon R1. It's faster than a mechanical shutter, right? Then it's the Nikon Z9, and then, Z8, and then, some of the other Sony's A1 II and this and that, R5 Mark II, all of these cameras that you see. In my book, all of these cameras here, for especially wedding events, that kind of thing, they're a compromise, right? The experience on a DSLR is much better. Why? Because you can see with your naked eye with an optical viewfinder versus this, which becomes grainy and nasty. And then if you shut that off, you have no idea what you're doing. When you look at the back of your screen, you're like, holy smokes. The experience is just bad, right? Global shutter kind of solves for a lot of these things, right? I wish more cameras had global shutter. You know that I have a cinema camera in the other room that you've seen, the F55. That actually has a global shutter. That camera was $30,000, right? When it was new, it was 30 grand. So the A9 III from Sony for $6,500. It seems to be a freaking bargain, but no one thinks about it as a bargain because they're chasing megapixels all day long. Like I mentioned on my last video, you can chase megapixels, or you can actually chase a camera that solves your problem. A lot of people ask me this question all the time. What will it take to get that DSLR out of your hand? Now, will I ever get rid of a DSLR? No. But something like a Sony A9 III completely changes that experience to what I shoot. It's not your cup of tea, that's fine. I get it. Knock yourself out. You can get whatever you want to buy all day long. The other thing with cameras like Sony A9 III is a lot of aspiring filmmakers freak out because it's a lot of money. It is. But think about it. You can be sitting inside. Let's say you're sitting in a New York subway in the train and you look outside and you're trying to do a video and you turn it on. You won't get like Boeing and I don't care how fast your sensor is. It's got jello. It's going to eventually have it. Global shutter, everything is perfectly straight. No problem. For filmmaking, it is incredible of a tool. Incredible. Shooting golf. Shooting stuff like that, right? Baseball. Not an issue. Everything will be straight. Shooting helicopters. It will be straight. The blade ain't gonna go like winky wonky. Shooting a hummingbird. No problem. Everything that was a problem with a mirrorless camera with a focal plane shutter, even if it's stacked, all of a sudden, nothing is a problem. My new name for the Sony A9 III is No Problem. Right? That song, Don't Worry, Be Happy. It's like that. It solves all of the headaches. And it's the only camera that's been able to do that. And sadly, it wasn't Canon. It wasn't Nikon. It was really Sony that actually solved the problem. Now, the question is are Canon and Nikon actually going to build cameras with global shutter? Or should I just buy a Sony A9 III, right? Leave your comments below. I'm very curious because I have the A9 II. Love it. It's a great camera. Outstanding. But is it global shutter? Nope. If it was global shutter, I'll be like on cloud 9, right? Yeah. Exciting. So I'm willing to take the plunge and sell off the gear that I don't need. I do know one thing. If I buy a Sony A9 III, there's going to be some gear that's going to disappear from here, which I'm not going to need anymore. Right? And if you look at it from that perspective, it's not a bad thing. It might be a good thing. So I'm very open to a discussion. Leave your comments below. Is global shutter really something that you really lust after, but you keep making these compromises? Because I've done that too. I'll buy this one for $4,000. It's okay if I get a little Boeing here and there, and who gives a shit if I have to use, high-speed sync? Yeah, okay, fine. It's a compromise. You're making a compromise. Or you get something like a Sony A9 III, wait a little bit longer, save up, buy that. It's not an issue anymore. So now the technology and the camera is not limiting your creative ability to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do with it. To me, that is the most liberating thing about the Sony A9 III. As much as you might think that I'm very hard on Sony, they have done something here that none of the other brands, none, have solved that problem. And they have actually solved it. And now let's talk about the one last thing, the elephant in the room, and then we'll end this video. Dynamic range. If I end up buying a Sony A9 III, I will prove to you that the whole dynamic range conversation is a bunch of bullshit. All bunch of lies. And I'll prove to you the other Sony cameras that are actually on the docket today that are brand new, that are available, they ain't that much better. They're really not, regardless of what Sony marketing says. And we'll talk about that if we get to that. So leave your comments below if I should pick one up. They're not cheap. They're not cheap used. It's an expensive machine. But I'm willing to make that plunge because I'm at the point in my life where I'm done dealing with compromises. No more compromises. I want what I want. And yes, it's got, pre-capture raw, Nikon, raw, 120 frames per second, pre-capture raw. Yeah, even if it's for a second and a half. Pretty impressive, I think. I wish it had a CFast Express Type B card. My credit card already would have got a hole in it. But I'm not going to let the CFast Express Type A card stop me from being able to liberate myself from all of the headaches of photography that have been there for decades and decades and decades, which no other brand solved. But literally, I mean, you got some relief with a leaf shutter type of camera, but nothing touches a global shutter sensor. Nothing. And the best part about the Sony A9 III is it's not only global shutter sensor, it's also a stacked global shutter sensor. It's an insanely freaking fast sensor. It's insane how fast it is. That's not a technological marvel. It is truly an industry leading, torchbearer that no other brand has or will have for some time. And all of us here on YouTube and other places badmouth and trash this camera because, number one, we can't afford it. Number two, we don't understand it. And number three, we love to live with compromises. Just as good. I don't want just as good. I want the best. And honestly, after trying the Sony A1 Mark II, and the A9 a few weeks ago on a weekend, I'm glad I walked away because it had given me some time to think through it rather than do something impulsive. I think I know what the Sony flagship is, and it's really not the A1 Mark II. It's not. I've used the A9 III now and the A1 II, and the A9 III in my book is truly that flagship that sets the technological bar so high for Sony and sets it apart from every other brand. Yeah, you weren't expecting that in this video, were you? So, Sony, if you're watching, stop giving it to these people that really don't shoot these things this way. They're only looking to get views. I buy this stuff with my own money. But it takes me a little time to make sure that it is the right thing for me. And if I end up getting one, I think I'm going to be super excited, super happy for a long time to come. Let me know your comments below. Super excited to see what you got to say. I will talk to you in the next one. Thank you.